Hello, everyone. Good morning. Hi. It's a new month. Yes, the month of August. This is our month of new beginning. Yes. So I want to start by thanking God for the gift of today, for the gift of life, making it possible for us to see today is out of His love and mercy and kindness. That is why we are alive today, not because of our power or our minds or anything, because of God's great love. That is why we are here today. So I'm starting this podcast by thanking God for the gift of life, for His goodness, for His mercy, for His love, for being a loving Father to us. God loves us so much, so much, that He sent His only begotten Son, that whosoever believes in the Son will not perish, but have everlasting life. The point I'm trying to make here is that God loves us dearly. We're important to Him, and He wants to have a relationship with us. Yes, He's our loving Father. Always know that you have a loving Father that loves you dearly. He wants to have that relationship with you. So I encourage you not to give up on life, not give up on yourself. As Christians, you have a loving Father. Even if you're not a Christian, God is still your Father, and He loves you very, 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 very much. And you can be anything you set your heart to do. My point really is about love, that God loves you dearly. He wants to have a relationship with you. Always know that and feel free to talk to Him. God is love. That is why we're on this earth, because God loved the world so much. He created man, He created the beings, He created everything. Everything on this earth is in existence because of God's love. Everything that we have on this earth is because of love. Yes, love is powerful. Love is patience. Love is kind. Love is beautiful. Love is so many things. That is what love is. If you have a child, for instance, and you've tried the mechanism of being harsh to that child when that child has done something wrong, and the mechanism of loving that child, correcting that child with love. You could still be firm, but you correct that child with love. If you're very observant, I assure you, that child is going to become a better child. He has more tendency of becoming a better child. Children do better in an environment of love. When there is no love in the family, children don't thrive. No, they are disturbed. But when there is love in the family, children do better. Even in organizations, even in offices, even in your business, if you do everything you do in love, you're going to find out that your business is going to do better. You're going to have your customer coming back to you. Why? Because they can feel that love. So love is a feeling, it's a sensation. And you feel it the way you talk to the person, the way you address the person, the way you smile to that person. It shows acceptance. It shows care. It shows you're important to me. You do that. Sorry about that noise. If you do that, you're going to see that. Sorry about the noise. Just a minute, please. All right. Sorry about that. I'm so sorry. If you do that for your children, you're going to observe they're going to thrive more compared to being firm. There are times you need to be very firm, yes, but you can still be firm and still be loving to your child at the same time. The point I'm trying to make is that love is important for children to thrive. Love is important for your family to grow. Love is important for you to do well in your career. Love is important for you to grow in your business. Love is important in every aspect of our life. And that brings me down to God. God is love. And out of His love, He created marriage. What is marriage? Marriage, is a union between two parties, who are in love with themselves, who have deep affection for themselves, who have feeling of passion and so many other things. Love has so many definitions, but Marriage is the union between two parties that love themselves passionately. They have deep feelings for themselves. They have deep affection for themselves. They cherish themselves. They see the other person as a treasure in their life, and they feel that their lives would be a lot more happier if that person would remain in their lives for the rest of their lives. And that is why they choose to marry that particular person. So today we'll be talking about Bible verses that is going to help build marriages. My focus is on love because for me, love is the main thing in marriage. So many things that are involved in building a marriage, but my focus is on love and the Bible verses that is going to help us build marriage. Love is a beautiful thing, like the band will say. Da na 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 na. Remember that song? All right. So talking about Bible verses. Now, the first Bible verse that I have here is Ephesians chapter 5, verse 33. It says, however, each one of you must love his wife. Now, why am I reading these Bible verses? These Bible verses is to help us build our marriages, is to inform us on how we should treat our spouses, is to help us build the union, increase the love that spouses have for each other, to guide spouses to be better spouses to each other. That is why I'm doing this particular podcast, so that people can be guided properly on things they should do to make their marriage become better, to make their love, excuse me, to make their love stronger. That is why I'm doing this podcast, because certain times couples get married and then they forget, either because of activities of life, slowly they just disintegrate. The bond they once shared disintegrates, is no longer there. So that is why I'm doing this podcast, so that couples can be reminded on how to treat their spouses, how to rekindle their love, and how to make their lives better. So that is why I'm doing this particular podcast. That is why I chose this particular Bible verses. There are several Bible verses, but I'm going to focus on these Bible verses to guide spouses on how to love your spouse, how to ensure that your marriage thrives through every trying periods is going to go through, because marriage has its ups and downs. It's beautiful too, but it has its ups and downs. So the first thing I'm reading here is Ephesians chapter 5 from verse 33. This is about how you should treat your spouse, things you should do to build your marriage. Okay. It says, however, each one of you must love his wife as he loves himself, and his wife must respect her husband. Each one of you. So the man is expected to love his wife, and the wife too is expected to respect her husband. The Bible puts it here that the husband should love his wife. Now, what is love? For me, I like to use the Bible definition of love. Yes, there's the normal definition of love, which we feel that is okay too. But why I like the Bible definition is that sometimes those passions you feel for your spouses will not enable you to express love better to your spouse. Like, for instance, the Bible says love is patience. So when your wife offends you or does something that you don't like, you're going to be patient with her. You're not going to get angry. You're going to be patient with her. You're going to still tolerate her and still love her. You will still need to correct her, yes. But the point is that you're not annoyed about what she did to you. That is patience. Loving your wife, being patient with her, tolerating her despite whatever wrong she has done to you. You're going to tolerate her. You're going to accept her. You're not going to be too angered or too annoyed, because sometimes men are angered for one reason or the other. Your wife did something you don't like and you cannot tolerate it. It gets you so offended that maybe you slap her instantly or you do something because you're angry. But if you're able to tolerate, means you put yourself under control. Okay, my wife did this thing. I know what she did was wrong, or I'm not happy about what she did, but I'm going to tolerate it. Meaning I'm going to accept it and not get annoyed. It doesn't mean you won't correct her. You will still make out time and talk to her and correct her, but your emotions should be under control. You should be able to accept what she has done and still not get offended. That is the thing. Ability not to get offended. That is being patient with your spouse. Because certain times men might love their wife, yes, but they might have issues with anger. Being able to control that temperament is a major issue for some men. Yes, they can't control it for whatever reason. And so I recommend anger management. Yes, if you have a problem or anger management, treat it. Go for an anger management class and find out how you can control your anger so that you can relate better and love your wife better. Okay, so accept your wife, be tolerant. Accept your wife and tolerate what she has done without being annoyed. That is what patience is. And that is why I love the Bible definition of love. Love is patient. Now, love is kind. What is kind? Meaning having sympathy for another person. That is what being kind is. Now, when your wife does something to you, instead of being angry, you should have sympathy for her. You just develop that feeling at that point. That is you showing her love. You develop sympathy for her. For whatever it is she did, just develop a feeling of sympathy. That way, you're not going to get too offended about it. It doesn't mean you won't correct her, yes, but at the moment, showing her that kindness, that is love, okay? Even the same thing for the wife. The wife should also learn to show sympathy to her husband. But we're in Ephesians 5. Now, what else does love say? Love is patient, love is kind, love is love is patient, love is kind, love does not envy. Yes, envy means when you're not contented with what you have. That's what envy means. And then you have this strong desire that it controls you, that you want what somebody else have. That is what envy is. Love is not envy. You don't envy your wife because maybe she has, forgive me for this, but I'm being very real here. Maybe she has more money than you. You're not going to be envious about her. Besides, the money that she has is for you. You people are one. So don't be envious that, hey, my wife earns more than I earn. Certain men might not find this easy, but this is what love is. Don't be envious. She's yours. You love her. So the money that she has is invariably yours too. The money is also yours. So you don't have anything to do. You don't need to get envious about her that she's earning more money than I'm earning, and then you're so angry inside of you, or then you wish you can grab it. No. You talk to her, for instance, hey babe, I'd like us to sort this issue financially and get her opinion. Even if she might not willingly bulge initially, you keep talking to her. Make her see reasons why a particular need needs to be settled in the house. If, for instance, you can't meet up to it. Besides, while God created a wife was to be a helpmate fit for the husband. So God knew that men needed help. That is why he created a wife that is fit for that particular man. So women are helpmates. So if you're earning more than your husband, it's the blessing of God. You're there to help your husband. That is the intention. So the money is not like yours. No, it's for the family. It's for you to help your spouse. That is why that money is there. Okay, so don't be envious. Same thing with the woman. If the man has maybe more cars or have more things than you have or so, don't be envious about it. No, his cars, his possessions are yours. Yes, even though I know the Nigerian situation is that when a man dies, the family might take everything. Yes, but leave that for God. Don't worry about that. God is going to solve that matter. The point I'm trying to make is that you should not be envious if your husband have more things than you have, no. Or if your wife have more things than you have, no. Be contented with what you have. And remember, both of you are one. So it's not about her thing or his thing. It belongs to you. Whatever you have, the both things, whatever you have, the wife have, the husband have, both of them belongs to both of you because both of you are now one. Marriage is a union between two parties. You are now united. You are now one. That is why the Bible says when you marry, you're no longer two, but one. So everything the wife has and everything the husband have is one. Both of you have it. It doesn't belong to the wife, no. It belongs to both of you. You are one all the time. Okay? So that is what love is. Love is not boastful. Boastful is when you excessively show off what you have. Maybe you have achievements, you keep talking about it all the time. You keep singing like a song all the time. That is what it means to be boastful. Excessive show off. You talk about what you have, your possession, continuously. You keep talking about it, that is being boastful, and love is not boastful. So if you as a spouse, either spouses, you have achievements or possessions, you shouldn't talk about it so much. You can talk about it, yes, Father, I thank you, I have it, but don't sing like a song all the time. Love is not boastful. This is what love is not. Love is not boastful. Love is not proud. You don't think yourself so highly above the other person. My husband is below me, or my life is below me. No, don't have that mind. That is being proud. You're thinking yourself, you're taking yourself to be so highly above the next person. No, that is not love. Both of you are partners. Both of you are partners. Even though she's a weaker vessel, yes, but both of you are partners. Both of you are partners. That's what the Bible says. Okay? Love does not dishonor the other person. Dishonor means to disrespect another person. When you don't hold the other person in high regard, when that person is not important to you, that is what it means to dishonor somebody. Doing things that disrespects another person is dishonoring that person. So husbands, don't do things that will dishonor your wife, please. I beg you. Don't do things that show that you don't have respect for her. It could be the way you talk to her, it could be the way you approach her, it could be anything. But anything that you know is going to be an act of disrespect to her. Don't do that because she's your wife. Don't do that. Love is not self-seeking. It's not all about me, 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 me. No. It's about we. That is why when you marry, it's no longer about me. It's not about we. We. All right. So love is not self-seeking. So men, don't be self-seeking. Don't do things and you just put yourself as the number one priority. No. You are now one. You should be thinking about what can I do to make our home better? What can I do to make us better? What can I do to grow this family? It is now us, not we. Don't do things for yourself only. Certain men, they have money. What they want to do is to buy a brand new car for themselves. Or they want to do something that would just be about. I'm not saying don't take care of yourself. Yes, it's good that you take care of yourself. In fact, the wife will take care of the husband and the husband takes care of the wife. Both of you take care of yourself. What am I trying to say? Don't just do things with intention to please yourself only. No, that is not what love is. Love is not easily angered. Yes, you don't get angry easily. Your wife does something you don't like, don't get offended, don't get angry. No, you should be able to calm yourself down. It still boils down to being patient. You should be able to tolerate whatever she has done and find it in your heart to say, okay, she did this. I'm going to be calm, I'm going to be cool, and I'm going to accept her, but I'll still talk to her later, but I'm not going to be offended. So it takes self-work to talk to yourself that, okay, she did this, I'm not going to get offended. I'm going to be calm and cool. Instead, I recommend you do this. Just smile. Yes, when your wife does something that should get you angry, instead smile and find a reason to smile. Maybe remember her beautiful face and just smile. Let that thought cloud your mind. That way, you're going to calm yourself down. So love is not easily angered. Any man that gets angry, I'm not here to judge. Forgive him, please. My intention is not to judge. My intention is to help us build our marriages. That is the intention of this, not to judge anybody, please, but to help us build our marriages, to help us know how we can love our wives better, how the woman can also respect her husband better, not to judge anyone, please. Like I said, it's not easy. And then love keep no record of sins, keep no record of wrongs. Yes, Most times, couples find that quite difficult. It's not very easy. Yes, it takes the grace of God. That's what love is. You don't keep record of wrongs. Your husband offended you or your wife offended you yesterday. You don't keep a record of it. You don't keep recounting it. She did this one last year, last 2 years, last week, last 2 months. That is not love. Love doesn't keep record of wrong. So if your wife offends you, don't keep record of it. Discuss it and try to come back to that base of love and forget it. Yes, it might not be easy, but don't keep a record of it. So that means you should forget it. This is what love is. There's so many definitions of love, but this is what love is, the Bible way. And I believe that if we put this into practice, if the men put this into practice, by loving their wives, which is the first verse we are still in, you're going to have a happier home. Same for the woman. A woman should also love her husband. Women naturally they love their men. That is their second nature. To love is very, very easy. So this is what love is. When you say you love your wife, it means you're patient with her. You're able to tolerate her when she offends you without being annoyed. You're kind to her. You're sympathetic to her. You're not envious about her possession. Whatever she has belongs to you. Always remember that. Don't be envious. There's no room for being envious. Because once you're envious, it means you don't love her. Because envy, from my perspective, is not of God. It's not of God. It's a wild passion that drives people to do what on a very normal day they wouldn't do. So do not envy anybody. Do not envy your wife. Love is not boastful. If you've had several achievements, don't sing it like a song. Okay? Don't keep singing and talking about it so much. No. Love is not proud. Don't take yourself more highly than the woman. She's just my doormat. Certain men have that kind of mindset that women are their doormats. I don't know. I'm not a man, but I think so. If I'm wrong, please forgive me. What am I trying to say? Don't think that your wife is less of a person than you are. No, she's not. Both of you are partners. Both of you are not equal. I'm not going to go there, but both of you are partners. Okay? Don't do things that disrespect your wife. You're all matured. Don't do things that will disrespect your wife. Don't talk to her in a very bad way. Don't treat her badly. That is being disrespectful to her. Anything that you know that would not bring honor to your wife, don't do it. I'm not going to go into those dirty talks now, but maybe another day. What am I trying to say? Don't dishonor your wife. Things that doesn't show that you respect her, that you hold her in high regard. Don't do that. Man, you know what I'm trying to say. So that's what I'm trying to say. Then love is not self-seeking. Don't think about yourself, myself. No, don't do that. And don't be easily angered. Learn to be patient with your wife. Learn to tolerate your wife. And don't keep record of wrongdoing. These are what love is. Okay. So now for the woman, it says that where am I? Forgive me. Please just a minute. Yeah, I'm reading it from. Now it says the wife must respect her husband. What does it mean to respect? It means to hold the man in high regard. That is what it means to respect someone. Hold a man in high regard. Now there are several ways you can respect your spouses. That is going to be my video for the next one. Yes. But let me just get, can respect your husband. What is respect? Respect simply means having a high regard for your spouse. That is what it means to respect your husband. You should be somebody you hold in high regard. Now, if you hold somebody in high regard, you're going to mind how you talk to that person, how you treat that person, how you greet that person. That's what it means to respect your husband. Is in the how. How do you do things for him? How do you speak to him? How do you greet him? How do you show him love? How do you show him care? How do you show him affection? Certain women, certain times their husbands are back from work. Do you hug him with a smile? Or you start telling him how your day was? Or you start complaining the children went up and down? That is not a good way to show respect to your husband. If your husband comes in from work, you start by giving him a hug, sit down with him, find out how his day was, help him pull his shoes, take his bag to the room, just make him feel very, very comfortable. That way you're showing respect to your husband. If there is food, you serve him food. If he wants to have his bath, you can help him boil warm water so that he has a warm bath. Just treat him nicely. The same men are like babies. So treat him as such. Just care for him when he's back from work. That is how you show respect to your husband. Now, there are several other ways you can show respect to. And one way of doing that is by making out time for your spouse. Always ensure that you guys go on dates as often as possible because that way you can focus on each other, just talk, laugh, gist. That way you're showing respect for your marriage, you're showing respect to your husband. It mustn't be a very big date. It can just be at home or a night out thing, but just a special time when both of you spend time together, just talking about your day. You can put in some cool music, just make the place have some kind of romantic environment. That way, you're showing respect to your husband. Another way you can show respect to your husband is by finding out the projects he intends to handle. If there are things he wants to do, you say, babe, how can I help you in this? You're not the one going to direct him, no. You just want to ask him, how can I be of help to you in this project or in this thing you want to do? Marriage is not difficult. It's not easy, but I like to be positive. Marriage requires a lot of work. Yes, in the sense that you have to be attentive to what your spouse wants. Yes, I know you're back from work. Maybe as a wife, you're tired, but these are things you still need to do. You still need to make out time for your spouse. Your day could be very hectic, but still make out time for him. It's very, 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 very important. It's very, very, very important that you come home, you take your rest, and then prepare yourself so that you can make out time and spend with him valuable time, not just rush time. And that is why I encourage men to come back home early from work. If you're back from work, both of you can have time to spend together. Certain men, because of one reason or the other, they come home very late, and that is not going to build a marriage at all because you're not going to have sufficient time to spend with your spouse, even if she's ready, but you're not there in the house. So try and come home as early as possible so that both of you can bond together. You spend time together. People these days are so engrossed with their phones. The man is back, he's on his phone. With his phone till midnight. When he goes to bed and wakes up, the first thing he looks at is his phone. So that phone is one thing I think couples should try and take out of the home. In the sense that once you're home, limit your contact with your phone. The time you're home, the time you spend with your family. Whatever it is you couldn't do on the phone, whomever it is can send you a message. You can always attend to it the next day. But once you're home, try and focus on your spouse. Try and focus on your wife, husband. Try and focus on your husband and spend time together. The wife is home, she's on her phone. Throughout the night, the man is back, she's not listening to him. She serves him food, she's back to her phone. She's doing something for him, but her attention is on the phone. Maybe she's talking to him, but her attention is still on the phone. Who is more important, the phone or the man? So try and focus. This is one thing that I think, disintegrates marriages. People are focused on their phone. They are back from work with their phone. They wake up in the morning, first in their phone. Some men, middle of the night, they wake up, they go to their phone. I don't know what they're looking for in their phone. I'm not here to judge, but the point is we should make our time to bond because this thing steal away the time you're supposed to spend with your wife. You're spending it on your phone. All right, sorry I drifted a bit. Forgive me. So back to it. So ask him which project you want him, which project he intends to take, and how you can help him on that project. That way you're respecting your husband. Another way you can respect your husband is to give him a break. Yes, he's been working 9 to 5 throughout the week. Saturdays, give him a break, Just tell him, take out some time and chill with your friends. That way you're giving him a break. Or you can say, okay, babe, don't worry. I'll take care of it today. Just can have a nap. That way you're giving him a break. These are ways you're showing respect to your spouse, respect to your husband. Another way you can show respect to your husband is by asking him for advice. If there are things you want to do, as usual, you should discuss almost everything you do with your husband. It's important, yes, because every decision you make is going to affect your family. It's not just you now. So ask him for his advice. If there are things you want to do, say, babe, I want to do this. What do you think? How do you think I should go about it? That way, you're showing him that you respect him. Another way you can show respect to your spouse is by speaking well of him to others. Yes, marriage involves you taking up a new character. You might not be the kind of person you used to be before, but now that you're married, you have to take up a new character so that you can build the marriage. And that includes speaking well of your spouse. Yes. If you're with your friends or you're hanging out with friends, always speak well of him. Nobody's perfect, yes. They could have their flaws, but as often as possible, speak more of his good qualities. Even if he has qualities you don't like, that should be what both of you should discuss. Or you can tell it to persons you know has intention to make him a better person. Not to judge him, no, but to make him a better person. You can tell such things to such persons. I'm not encouraging third party, but the point I'm trying to make is if you have like a counselor, that's what I'm trying to say, a counselor whom both of you agree, you can always discuss your issue to, or you can always share certain things you feel you can't handle. There should be somebody that you guys, it's going to be an agreement between both of you, you guys feel you can always discuss it when you feel you cannot handle things. Yes, when you feel you can't handle things. Though I recommend talking to God first about everything and praying to him. That will be another topic for another day. Sorry I digressed about it. What am I trying to say? Speak well about your spouse to the next person. Yes, that way you're showing respect to him. Another way you can show respect to your husband is to write him a love note. Yes. Hey, baby, I love you because of your wonderful muscles. That could be the reason why you love him. That's between you and him. Whatever reason it is, find a reason why you love your husband and be specific. Write him a thank you note. Babe, I love you because you cooked meal the other day. I love you because you pick me up from work. I love you because you buy me gifts. Whatever it is, thank him. Appreciate him. Everybody wants to be appreciated. The more you appreciate someone, the more that person is going to want to do more for you. I assure you. When you criticize someone, yes, as long as it's constructive criticism, but as often as possible, compliment your spouse. Thank him. Thank you for washing my clothes. Whatever that's between you and him. Thank you for taking out the diapers. Thank you for taking out the trash. Thank you for combing my hair. Whatever it is, but always thank your spouse. That way you're respecting him. That way you make him feel appreciated. That way he's going to even do much more for you, I assure you. And that way you can respect your spouse is as often as possible, set the mood. You know what I mean? Yes, set the mood. Always have romantic times together. Sex is one thing that men value greatly in every relationship, particularly marriage. So always set the mood as often as possible. Set the mood for such, you shouldn't be the one always trying to stir it up. Yeah, sometimes you can be the one to stir it up. Put on some lovely nightgowns, have some lovely music, just set the mood. Just put on a very nice air freshener and make everywhere cozy for the day. You know what I mean? But it's important. These are ways you're going to improve intimacy between yourself and your spouse. And that way you're showing that you respect him. He's going to love you more. He's going to be more committed to you. Sometimes you are so busy, especially women that work. They come home, they're tired, they don't have time for such. And that is not good. So you should try in all your activities as a woman to make out time to set the mood for that wonderful activity because it's part of your life. It's part of what is going to help you keep the marriage. It's part of what's going to make the man enjoy the marriage and then make both of you enjoy the marriage because Like I said, marriage is a companionship. It should be enjoyed. So everything that brings happy moments as often as possible, try to do that in the marriage. So this is one way you can, is that way you also show respect to your husband. Another thing you can do is to keep your mouth shut. Yes. Instead of saying hurtful words to your spouse, be silent. Yes, you're offended. It's not very easy. It takes the grace of God greatly. As I said, it involves you taking up a new character. You might not be used to it, but these are ways you're going to build your marriage. Your husband insults you, for instance. You just smile at him. Don't just say anything, just smile. Smile at him and let it go. It's not easy, but that's the trick to handle the situation. He might call you several names, just smile. Smile or begin to dance for him. Just do the reverse of what he expects. That way you're teaching him that it doesn't really pay to say such things. And over time, he's going to think of other ways to express himself to you instead of insulting you or instead of saying hurtful words. So you start by not responding the way he expects you to respond. It's not going to be easy. It requires self-control, but the trick is to help the marriage work, to build a marriage, to show that, babe, I respect you, I love you, even though you called me a dog or whatever, so give me. But you're teaching him that there are other ways he can express himself without being insultive to you. So these are the ways you can show respect to your husband. Marriage is a beautiful thing. Love is a beautiful thing, according to the Banj, yes. So it requires work. You have to take up certain characters to be able to build this marriage. We don't have certificates before the marriage, you have certificates after the marriage ceremony. So you have to build up these characters. These are ways you're going to show your man that you respect him. And by respecting your spouse, is invariably going to love you. So I wish we've learned a thing or two, and I pray that we're able to put these things into practice to help us build happier marriages. In my next video, I'll talk about other Bible verses on how you should love your spouse. But I'm going to stop here for today. Wish us all a beautiful and loving day, and I love you very much. Bye.